Hello, hi, welcome. MSJVR is my initials, but you can all call me by my nickname, which is Nika. Today, I'm going to be talking about my makeup inventory of 2022. So, I've never done one of these videos before, and I'm not going to lie, I've never been very good at keeping a makeup inventory. I thought it'd be a great way to start showing you guys my makeup inventory and how many products I have within each makeup category. And I also just wanted to keep a record for myself so I can watch back at my own videos and be like, so I had this amount of makeup back then and now I have X amount of makeup now, sort of ordeal. I also do have a spreadsheet where I kept up with all of the makeup uses between all my makeup products within my own makeup collection from last year. So I do want to go in a little bit of detail towards that, and I'd like to also go into detail with which parts of my makeup collection I'd like to expand or decrease in numbers. So yeah, I just thought it'd be a fun video to show on this channel, so yes. Okay, so we're now going to go into detail about my makeup inventory of 2021. I did not exactly look up the actual numbers of my makeup inventory 2021, but I do want to show the makeup products that did last throughout the year, at least till the end of the year, right now with you all. So I have categorized everything, how many times I've used each product, the last time I used each product, and I've done it for every single category, just so then of course I can record myself to ensure that I am using as much of my makeup as I can throughout the year. I also, if you haven't seen in my previous video, discussed all the makeup items I did declutter, which is a lot. So considering that all these makeup products used to be a part of my makeup collection, it's kind of crazy to think about. So as you can see, my makeup collection probably was a lot bigger than it is of course now. So without further ado, we're going to talk about the makeup that I had at the end of the year. So this is my foundations and concealers. So I have quite a few foundations and concealer that I ended up with during the end of 2021. And as you can see, for the most part, I have used all of them, which is a good sign because one of my goals last year was to make sure I used everything at least once, which is definitely shown that I have. The problem is you can tell which products I've been focusing on. For example, this MUA Cosmetics foundation in the shade 146, I actually have it on my face today, is a project pan item that I didn't end up getting to finish last year, which is a shame, but it is going to be, I'm still going to be continuing to use it on a day-to-day basis whenever I can because I do want to use it up. I love the foundation, but I really want to use it up. So yeah, so you can tell which products I've had a bigger focus on. But yeah, that is my foundations. Oh, it's not even concealer. This is just foundations. I've just realized that. Let's just remove that. It's just foundations, this section, because concealers are right here. So by the end of 2021, this is the concealers I had, and this is how many times I used each concealer, which is kind of crazy. You can tell which ones I haven't used the most, but just letting you know, this one right here, the Fast Base, although it looks like I've used it 7 times, I actually finished it the same, last year as well. So I opened a new Revolution Fast Base concealer, hence why it looks like I've only used it 7 times, but in actuality I had finished one and then I've just opened another one to use it throughout the year. You can tell which products that I've again favour more over others, but yeah, I have quite a small concealer collection. For bronzers, okay, so for context, for those who haven't seen my MT's video, I actually finished a whole bronzer that I've been trying to finish for like 3 years, like 3 or 4 years, and I finished it up last year, and that was my primarily bronzer focused product, which was the it was here, it'll be in my new spreadsheet, hold on, which is this. It's the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation. I used it 167 times in the year in order for it to finish up, and yeah, so hence why a lot of my other bronzers didn't get as much love last year because I was solely focused on finishing this one bronzer. So yeah, but hopefully that will change this year with this makeup inventory. So the next one is blush. I will say I ended up buying so many more blushes this year. I really got into blush, as with a lot of people this year, and you can tell that again there was some that I favoured more than others and some that I really need to use a bit more of, and I hope to see more even numbers. Like, I really want to make this more of an even spreadsheet of using blush for this coming year. Highlighter, I actually like to say, generally speaking, it looks, you know, generally quite equal. Most of them I've used over 10 times, which is quite good. Some of them, for example, the MUA Peach Diamond highlighter, it's the only pink highlighter I have, so I don't necessarily would use it on a day-to-day basis. There's some like liquid and like cream highlighters, which I don't necessarily use on a day-to-day basis either, so hence why the lower numbers. So for eyebrows and cream eyeshadows, I have garnered a lot. I fell in love with cream eyeshadows this year, so you'll see that a lot of them will have more, right here, you'll have a more favour over other products. And also I fell in love with using just eyebrow pencils and brow gels, which I was late to the party because I used to just exclusively use brow pomades, brow powders for the longest time, so I'm very late to the party, so hence why there has been a growth in numbers with eyebrow products. And you can tell I love my eyebrow products, like for example my e.l.f. eyebrow pencil, which I also have on today. I've used it 35 times this year. My Be by Superdrug eyebrow gel, which I used 50 times last year. The XXRevolution avocado dark brow gel, I used it 67 times last year, so you can tell I really fell in love with brow gels, and you can tell that they became a very prominent part of my makeup collection of 2021. So for eyeliner and mascara, I love eyeliner, so hence why you can see eyeliner numbers really go up in comparison to mascara, because for those who don't know, I don't wear mascara on a day-to-day basis. Recently I've been trying to get into wearing mascara again, but I have very straight lashes, so you know, it's more of a see how I feel sort of day. Most of the time I don't wear mascara, like today. I don't know if you can tell, I'm not wearing mascara. However, there will be days where I'm like, oh, I want to wear it, and I do want to use up my mascaras, which some of them are in my Project Pan drawer, so I'm trying to use them up this year. So you'll see those in a little bit. But yeah, I love eyeliner. I would never give up eyeliner. I think eyeliner just makes every look that I wear look so much better. Okay, so this is lipsticks and lip liners and like tinted lip balms. I'm just colouring this because it's really annoying me that this is not in like a particular shade. Anyway, so as you can see, I have a lot of lip products that I finished off with at the end of the year, and I'm not going to lie, you'll see in my 2022 makeup inventory section of this video, some of these have also been decluttered, and some of these I won't necessarily be using as lip products, and again I'll explain a little bit, but as you can see, there's only one lip product that I've used way more than any lipstick here, apart from like my tinted lip balms, which I'm obsessed with. I love tinted lip balms, but for the most part, this actual matte lipstick is the MUA lipstick in the shade Sincere. This is also a Project Pan item, so as you can see, there's not a lot left, so I'm trying to finish this up, hence why you'll probably see these numbers for this particular lipstick increase over others, so just letting you know. But yeah, I'll explain a little bit how my makeup inventory for my lipsticks has changed a little bit at the beginning of 2022, and honestly I think it's a good change for me. I just wanted to show you how many lipsticks I've used throughout 2021, which to be honest is quite a good significant amount, considering that of course we're all still wearing masks at the time, and I'm still wearing a mask now anyway, and I'm still wearing lip products on my face, so good on me. Okay, so this next category is powders. So this would have been way bigger, but I actually decluttered quite a bit, I think. Oh yeah, I decluttered quite a bit of powders in 2021 as well, especially here. So like the XXRevolution translucent powder, the NYX HD finish powder, and I actually also decluttered another 2 face powders at the beginning of 2022 in my own time. So this number isn't accurate, but as you can see, I love my powders. In particular, my pressed powders. Like, you can see which is my favorite, which is the Revolution Pro CC Perfecting Powder. I adore that powder so much. I think it looks amazing. I've used it 53 times. I've used my MUA pressed powder 38 times, my other MUA pressed powder 41 times, my e.l.f. Tint Finish powder. So yeah, you can tell which powders I absolutely love over others, and it's the pressed powders. That's something I've realized now that I'm obsessed with. So when you actually see my makeup inventory of 2022, you'll see that those powder numbers have changed. I have quite a lot of eyeshadows during 2021, as you can see, and I would like to say I did declutter some eyeshadow palettes at the beginning of 2022, and then I gained some for Christmas and my birthday. So yeah, I've got quite a few eyeshadow palettes, which I can't wait to show and to explain a bit more with how I'd want to go about using my eyeshadows. I'd like to use more of my eyeshadows. To be honest, like, I've got so many, and I really want to use more eyeshadows this year, even though I knew I always have been doing my best to wear eyeshadow on a day-to-day basis. Especially when I'm working from home though, I don't necessarily reach out for eyeshadow, and I really want to make the effort to make sure I wear eyeshadow as much as I can. So yeah. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about is primers / setting sprays. So you can see straight away, there is a primer that I've been trying to use up. So that's a primer that is in my project pan, and it's still in my project pan at the moment. But I usually finish up primers really quickly. Like last year I finished one, two, three. Yeah, I finished 3 primers last year. So, which is a lot if you think about it. So I'm really good at finishing up primers. It's something that I personally enjoy using. I don't know, I just really enjoy it. But yeah, at the time I had a lot of focus on certain primer products, as you can see, because I wanted to finish them up. So yeah. And it's the same with setting sprays. I tend to just latch on to one setting spray and use that up rather than change up setting sprays. So you'll probably see some difference in numbers with that as well. Okay, so yeah, that is my inventory of 2021. I know it was a little bit rushed, and it wasn't as in-depth that I know that some of you may have wanted it to be, but as I said, this is the first time that I'm doing a makeup inventory video on camera. This spreadsheet was actually just me just keeping an eye on how many times I've used certain products, and to ensure I'm giving a lot of love to as many products as I can in my makeup collection. So hopefully by the end of this year or the beginning of next year, I can go into a bit more detail about comparing actual numbers in comparison to now, if that makes sense. Now, we're going to go into discussing how many makeup products I actually have within my current makeup collection at the beginning of 2022. Okay, so I've just set up my Sony ZV-1, my new camera, as part of my camera collection. For those who don't know, I love buying cameras, collecting cameras, and using cameras. I've got quite a few that I've collected over the years for personal reasons, and this is a new camera within my camera collection, so please welcome it. It's currently filming my hands, and I gave my old camera away to my partner actually, so if he's watching this, I love you, and I hope you're enjoying your new camera. Without further ado, this camera is going to be showing you all of the makeup products, and this camera is just going to show you my face. My questionable face. But yeah, we're going to go talk about how many makeup products are within my makeup inventory. Okay, so apologies for the lighting. I currently have my room light on at the moment, so you know it makes the video look a bit brighter and as well as a little bit more color accurate as well. But also because of that, my shadow is currently being casted towards my makeup products. So these are all my foundations. So in total, I have 15 foundations, and as you can see, these are all of them. I have various different ones. As far as I'm aware, all the makeup products that I have bought for myself is cruelty free. These two are cushion foundations that I made myself. This one, if you haven't seen, is actually from a video that I did in 2021, which was make my own cushion foundation using all of the foundations I used to own at the time. And then this one I tried to make into like a tinted like foundation, which does kind of work. I need to get more use out of both of these, to be honest, but yes, I have these two cushions. Okay, so as you can see, some foundations, for example, my e.l.f. Flawless Finish foundation, my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, and my MUA Pro Base Longwear Matte foundation come in doubles because I may or may not match certain shades depending if it's summer or winter. So yeah, hence why you will see doubles of certain foundations, and other ones they actually just match me all no matter what time of the year it is. So for example, a lot of my skin tints, or my sheer foundations, some foundations I know I can sheer out, for example my EX1 Invisiwear liquid foundation, love this stuff by the way, and the Flower Beauty foundation, I just use like the tiniest bit of this foundation whenever I can, especially during the summer because it's just such a gorgeous foundation. But yeah, as you can see, these are all the foundations that I own at the beginning of 2022. I forgot to mention, for foundations, I'd actually like to see the number stay consistent around 15. I really like that number of products within my collection, but I also wouldn't mind that number increasing a little bit at the end of the year, which I know sounds crazy. Like, who needs more than 15 foundations in their makeup collection? But I personally want to try some foundations that are on my current wish list. So I'm hoping if I do end up finishing some makeup products this year, I'll be able to buy those sorts of replacement products. So yeah, I really hope so, because I've had my eye on some foundations for a little bit. I've read reviews and I've been very excited, and I think I've perfectly shade matched myself to some of them. And yeah, so I really hope to see some newer foundations at the end of 2022. But I'm also going to be very happy if I just stay consistent with the number 15 of foundations, so yeah. Okay, so this next category, which I should have done first, is actually primers. So I have, I think, 11 primers in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 primers in total, which is a lot for one person. But as I said before, I go through primers like a lot and a lot easier than other makeup products within my makeup collection. This is the MUA Pro Base Banana Blur Primer, which is the one that I've been trying to use up last year, but I never got to. But I definitely can say I think it's almost done, so I don't think we'll have a problem with that. But yeah, these are all the primers that I have in my makeup collection, and I know for a fact I did buy way more last year. Like, don't get me wrong, I did. Like, for example, I know I bought these two e.l.f. ones, this MUA one, this Be by Superdrug Dewy one, and this e.l.f. Poreless Primer. And potentially even this Be by Priming Souffle. I know I bought this all during 2021, so hopefully we get to see me use up a lot of these products. I know some of you may be wondering, why on earth do you have a sunscreen in your makeup inventory? This is the Purito Comfy Water Sunblock in SPF 50. It turns out at the time, when I bought this at the time, I actually never used it as a SPF on its own. I used it as a primer because it was a like physical sunscreen at the time, and I found that a lot of like makeup products actually stuck to this particular sunscreen. I never wore it on its own, but which is quite lucky, because I think during 2021 there was or is it 2022? It was either 2021 or 2022, but it turns out this particular brand and this particular product did not actually hold SPF 50 within its sunscreen products, so I know there's a whole controversy around that, but instead I've actually been using it consistently as a primer because it's actually a pretty good primer. I also have bought 2 backup products of this product, but that was before I knew it didn't have SPF 50, so it's a shame because it felt so good. So I actually just use it now as a primer, and like I said, it didn't technically have no SPF. It had like SPF 20 or SPF 15 even, and as a primer, putting that on top of your SPF and then using it as well as a before stage for your makeup, you know, I thought it'd be good to use it for that. And also it'd be a waste of money and a waste of product if I didn't use it. So yeah, I now just have this as a primer. These are the rest of the other primers that I have in my makeup collection. Honestly, I'd like this number to dwindle a little bit because I think I've generally found the primers I quite like and the type of primers I like. So I do hope to see this number go down a little bit. Cool. Okay, so here right now with us is my concealers and color correcting products. So I have 2 foundation pigments, which is this white LA Girl foundation pigment and this yellow one. I find that foundations are either too pink or too dark for me, so these are very, very useful and handy to have. I don't know how often I'll be using these because, again, like I said, I think I've quite matched myself well to the foundations that I have, but if I ever need to adjust colours, I've got these. But I've also got 2 colour correctors, so these are the B by Superdrug colour correctors. So I've got one in the shade green and the one in the shade yellow, and these are the only colour correctors I have in my makeup collection, and honestly, I'm happy about. This is pretty good. And I currently have 4 concealers. I did have 5, but I gave one away to my mum because she needed to borrow a concealer and she loved it so much that I just gave it to her at the very end. But these are my 4 concealers. So I have an XXRevolution concealer, an MUA Pro Base concealer. As you can see, it's like almost finished and the writing's come off. This is the Revolution Fast Base Concealer. So I've removed the little packaging so I can see how much is left in the actual bottle. And this is the Revolution Pro Ultimate Radiant Under Eye Concealer, which I quite like as well. This is one of my favourite concealers. But yeah, these are my concealers. I don't generally use concealers on a day-to-day basis. Like, I'm wearing some right now because I want to use my concealers. But for the most part, I don't actually wear concealer on a day-to-day basis. I just feel like I don't need it. Like, when I put foundation on, it covers everything. Like, why do I need to add any more coverage? Hence why I've got a very small collection of concealers. But I do really, really enjoy these. But I would like to either see something different in my makeup collection for concealers, or maybe potentially have the numbers down in concealers, because I think there's only like 2 or 3 concealers I'd like to try eventually, but for now I'm very happy with my 4 concealers. Okay, so the next category we're going to be talking about is powders. So as you can see on the table, I have quite a few powders. So in total I have 10 powder products, and I love every single one of them except the loose powders. So at the beginning of 2021, I had way more loose powders over pressed powders in my makeup collection, and then I kind of sort of stopped using loose powders and have favoured so much of my pressed powders in my collection, so I ended up buying quite a few. So in total I have 4 loose powders, which was decluttered and has been curated from like 6 to 8 loose powders of 2021. So now I own 4, and I'd like to use this one at the XXRevolution banana powder. That's one of my Project Pan products, and the rest of the powders are all pressed. So I love pressed powder. I don't know if you can tell, but like, you know, I hit pan on pressed powders quite quickly as well. I don't know if you can see in that one, but there's like a tiny pan. I'd like to keep my pressed powder collection the way it is. If I grow it, brilliant, because I love pressed powders. But I think at the moment there's like 1, potentially 2 pressed powders that I'm genuinely interested in, but they're at a price point that I'm not willing to spend right now. So I'm quite happy and content with my pressed powder collection as of right now, and hopefully eventually get rid and use up these loose powders. Okay, so this next part of my makeup inventory is my setting sprays. So I only own 4 setting sprays, which is kind of crazy. I think I owned about the same amount at the beginning of 2021, but now I only own 4 setting sprays. And honestly, I think I found my favorite drugstore setting spray, which is the NYX Matte Finish Mini Setting Spray, as well as the Barry M Flawless Matte Mist Setting Spray is one of my favorite ones as well. So eventually I want to buy a replacement for that product, which I used up. And honestly, my biggest aim for my setting sprays is to actually use these ones up, have this, my Barry M1, and I'd like to invest in the Urban Decay All-Nighter, because I hear all my friends online rave about it, talk about how good it is, and in all honesty, I don't really care for setting spray that much, and as long as it does the job, it does the job. And I think over time I've just come to terms with potentially setting sprays being one of the only things that I'm happy to invest money in, because as long as it lasts a good while and as well as helps makes my makeup last, I don't need to keep trying different things, especially now that I know which 2 drugstore setting sprays I really like, and I really want to, and the Urban Decay All-Nighter is the only high-end and other setting spray that I would ever want to try as of right now of making this video. Okay, so I thought I'd just jump in and do this particular part of the my makeup inventory, which is discussing eyeshadow palettes. I am not bringing all my eyeshadow palettes onto the desk. 1, I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. 2, I'm filming this quite late and I don't really want to wake up my family with just dumping eyeshadow palettes on to my desk. So as I've mentioned earlier in this video, I did declutter some eyeshadow palettes and then somehow regained new eyeshadow palettes. So in total, according to my book, I have 34 eyeshadow palettes, which is a lot for one person. For one bean like me, it's a lot of eyeshadow palettes. So my aim is to use as many of the eyeshadow palettes as I can. Do I want to dwindle the numbers? As of right now, no. I actually love every single eyeshadow palette that's in this current makeup drawer that I have. I'll insert some footage of it. But as you can see, these are all my eyeshadow palettes and I love every single one of them. I routinely go through my eyeshadow palette collections and think about which ones I genuinely love, genuinely don't love, if I need this palette, do I have these eyeshadow shades in other palettes. So I do this all the time. Like, it's something I constantly think about because I know I've got a lot of eyeshadow products, but I also want to make sure I give them so much love and attention to detail with using them. Like today, I haven't used this in a bit, but I use the V Cosmetics Grimoire palette on my eyes, and I love this palette, and I hope to be using this a little bit more throughout the year. And also, it's made me realise, if you think about it, I've technically got 34 eyeshadow palettes. Therefore, I can use a lot of these eyeshadow palettes at least 10 times throughout the year. And that's just an aim of mine that I wish to do for 2022 with my makeup inventory. Do I see myself getting new eyeshadow palettes? Yes, like, I'm not going to lie, I do see myself getting more eyeshadow palettes this year. There will be releases where I might request them for my birthday or for special occasions or something. Like, I can definitely see myself potentially growing my eyeshadow palette collection. However, I also can see myself trying to make sure I maintain a certain amount of number of eyeshadow palettes. I tend to do that every time I earn an eyeshadow palette, or I buy myself an eyeshadow palette, or it's gifted to me for like special occasions. I tend to then go through my makeup collections and see if I've got anything similar, and if I want to keep a specific quality over another quality. That's just something I do. So I guess we'll see what happens with eyeshadow, but I'd hope to keep it quite consistent in numbers and hopefully a little bit less at the end of 2022. We'll see what happens. Hey ho, I guess we'll find out. So I thought it'd be good to discuss all of the eye stuff that I have in my actual collection, and also just to speed up the process because it is getting late and I gotta wake up early tomorrow, so stress. But anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to go through all my eyebrow products, my cream eyeshadows, my brow products, and my eyeliners, all in one sitting. So I have a lot of products for various things. I've got in total 9 water activated liners. All of them are from Glisten Cosmetics, which is my favorite liner company. In total I have 7 metallic cream eyeshadows, so they're all very much like shimmery, gorgeous colors, which I love. These are also new to my collection. I started growing this collection I think at the end of 2022 and throughout 2021. I adore these cream eyeshadows, and I love cream eyeshadows, and I love wearing them on a day-to-day basis, so hence why there's quite a few of them. I also have these like eyeshadow color wand things, which are basically just cream eyeshadows which dry down to a matte finish, and it's great for like putting a base color on and adding more color to things. I definitely want to increase these numbers because these are the Barry M color glides, and I know Barry M do like a pink and a purple, and I definitely want to add them to my collection at some point. So for mascara, I only own 4, potentially 5. I do have like a waterproof version of my Mina 24-hour mascara. But yeah, I only own a few mascaras. I've mentioned this in the past and as well in this video. I don't really wear mascara on a day-to-day basis, but I do want to try wearing it more this year. I have in total 5 liquid liners. As I mentioned earlier, I love eyeliner. I love it. So you will definitely see me use these way more. I'd actually like to dwindle down these numbers a little bit. I found my top 3 favorite liners, which is my Be by Superdrug Duo liner, my Mina 24-hour liner, and my Barry M waterproof liner. These are my top 3 favorite liners ever. I don't ever see myself using any other liner but these 3. I do also have some like shadow liner pencils. So these are supposed to be like gel liners, and I have 2 from MUA. One is this like gorgeous deep brown shade. So I have one brow pomade, which is the NYX Tame and Frame brow pomade. It's the only brow pomade I own. The only brow palette I own is the Be by Superdrug brow palette. I do really like this palette, and it's probably the only brow palette I would keep. Eventually I would like to get rid of my NYX one because I just don't wear brow pomade anymore. I also have 2 eyeliner pencils. One is in like this beautiful like dusky grey colour, and the other one is in a white. In total I have 6 brow pencils, which I really adore. As I said earlier, I've been really into brow pencils, and I think I will consistently use brow pencils from now on. I think this is a nice number of brow pencils to have. You know, different products, various different things you can do with all of them. I see myself using and having the same amount at the end of the year. I then have 6 eyebrow gels, which is a lot, but eyebrow gels is something I've been really into this year, and again, I do definitely see myself using the same amount of brow gel products of this by the end of this year. But yeah, in all honesty, I don't see myself adding to this part of my collection. Okay guys, so I'm not gonna lie, it's getting really late. It's now 18 minutes past midnight, and I'm waking up super early tomorrow, so I'm just gonna run through with through my written list how many products I have left with the rest of for the rest of the makeup inventory. I will add probably overlays of some footage going through those sections of my makeup collection. So the next set of products I would like to talk about are my cheek products. So that includes my bronzers, blush and highlights. So I have 7 bronzers in total that are powder based products. I prefer powdered bronzers, and I only have 2 cream contour slash bronzer products. And as I said earlier in this video, I've not had the chance to use any of these bronzer products at all because I was in the middle of finishing up a different bronzer product last year. But this year I hope to either stay with the same number of bronzers or at least increase it by 1, aka I want to get another cream bronzer type product. Okay, so in total I have 10 cream and liquid blush tints. I have a lot of blush products and I didn't anticipate this to happen, but it just did, and I'm just guessing. And as I mentioned earlier, I fell in love with blush. I love blush and I have a lot of cream blush, and in all honesty I don't see myself getting rid of any of cream blushes in my makeup collection. However, there is one that I won't be showing as often on camera, which is my Benefit Love Tint. I actually got given this for my birthday, and I love this product, but unfortunately the brand is not cruelty free, so you won't ever really see it on camera. However, outside of camera I will do my best to try and use it up as well, and I'll do that with a lot of products that are part of my makeup collection that are not necessarily cruelty free but were given to me as gifts. So yeah. And also carrying on from my blush segment, I also own 7 powder blushes, and I do love blush, as you guys can tell. I think blush is just a great thing to have in makeup, and I just love it. I love it so much. So for highlighters, I only have 12 highlighters, one of them being a cream highlighter, which is part of my contour stick that I have. But yeah, I'd like to potentially keep the numbers the same. Okay, so the last set of makeup products I want to talk about in my makeup inventory is the number of lip products I have, and I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a lot, but there's also going to be some changes to those numbers, which I'm going to explain now. So generally speaking, I have 28 lipsticks and liquid lipsticks. As you'll see on this overlay, I have a little thing that has that contains all of the liquid lipsticks and lipsticks that I like to use. On top of that, I have an additional 18 Revolution Pro Supreme Matte Lip Pigments collection, and these are all lip products. Like, these are all matte liquid lipsticks, and I've made the decision during the beginning of 2022 and halfway through January that I will not be using 18 of those Revolution Pro Supreme Matte Lip Pigments in my collection. At least I won't be using them consistently, because if anything, it's just so many lipsticks, and honestly I bought those lip products because I wanted to collect them, and at the end of collecting them I eventually wanted to actually display them, whether that is in my room right now or if I ever have my own place in the future in an office. I'd like to display them because they're a very nice packaged pack of lipsticks, and it's the only liquid lipstick collection I actually have, and I think any makeup collection that I have with almost full lip products. I think it's the only collection I have with almost a full range of products, which is kind of crazy to think about. And yeah, I just don't see myself actually using 18 of those lipsticks, so I've decided I'm not going to be putting that as part of my makeup inventory. Instead, I class those as a collector's item. So in total, it would have been 46 liquid lipsticks and lipsticks. Instead, it's now 28. Additionally, I have about 19 lip balms and lip tints. I have a lot, so something that I didn't realize I would still stick to is lip balm, because when I was really young, it's one of the only makeup products slash beauty products I loved wearing, and I love them so much. I love wearing them. I know I'm currently wearing a matte lipstick, but trust me, I love wearing them on a day-to-day basis. And I do really want to increase that collection a bit more because I like wearing tinted lip balms. But in actuality, I really shouldn't do that. So I'm probably going to attempt to try and keep the numbers the same till the end of the year. And also I own 7 lip liners as part of my makeup collection. So most of them are the MUA lip liners. One of them is a Ted Baker one, which was gifted to me by my mum. But for the most part, I had the MUA lip liners for ages because I wanted to have like a collection of lip liners, but lip liners that weren't as expensive, because I don't necessarily wear lip liners on a day-to-day basis at all. Like, it's not something I definitely do. And that, you guys, is my makeup inventory of 2022. So this is the first time I've ever done something like this, and honestly, I'm so tired. I'm really, really tired. I have to wake up super early tomorrow as well. So it's gonna be so fun. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy my makeup inventory. I know I couldn't consistently show you all through my other camera all the products, but I hope you still enjoyed it nonetheless. And yeah, I hope we get to see some progress, and we'll see what happens with these makeup inventory predictions. We'll see how accurate they are, and we'll see how much of it has actually changed. So who knows? But yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, what did you think of this makeup inventory, and how many makeup products do you own? Let me know. And finally, guys, consider subscribing if you like the content and would like to stick around. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.